While a good story, challenging combat, complex puzzles, and detailed worlds can make for fun times in video games, sometimes you want to feel all-powerful. Some games cater well to the power fantasy, giving you incredible powers to wipe the floor with the opposition, thus providing the ultimate catharsis. Let's take a look at 15 single-player titles with the best powers. Control. The morphing service weapon may be her claim to the director's position in the oldest house, but it's Jessie's psychokinetic powers that make her a force to reckon with. Along with launching objects and bodies into enemies, she's capable of using nearby rubble to create a shield, temporarily seize a foe's mind, and even levitate. Further powers were added in subsequent updates, like Shield Rush for conjuring a shield of rubble and then charging into enemies with it. Saints Row 4. Due to infiltrating Zinniac's simulation of Steelport, the boss and the Saints gain some pretty gnarly powers in Saints Row 4. It starts out with Super Sprint and Super Jump, the latter being a tool for effectively flying through the virtual city. But later, it's possible to acquire abilities like Blast to throw enemies back with a concussive force, Telekinesis to pick up and throw enemies around, and Buff, which leaves a burning trail in your wake. With upgrades, it's not long before you're sprinting up walls, leveling entire blocks with stomps, or creating a nuclear blast when dive bombing from above. Injustice 2. While it's easy to include Injustice 2 because, well, superheroes, there's no denying that NetherRealm masterfully captured the essence of each character. Aquaman relies on his trident to attack along with tentacles and water shields. Atrocitus, on the other hand, uses the power of rage for relentless strikes and unleashing lava against foes. Dr. Fate utilizes glyphs and spells to zone out opponents. Even Superman feels like the overwhelming force that he should, while still maintaining game balance. Psychonauts 2. Raz has quite the litany of psi powers throughout Psychonauts 2, whether it's meleeing enemies with telekinetic fists, unleashing psi blasts, or using pyrokinesis to burn it all down. It's all fairly standard stuff. But you also have clairvoyance to see through other people's eyes, time bubble to create areas where time slows down, projection for creating a clone, and mental connection, which serves a multitude of functions from grappling to rearranging someone's thoughts. PsyOps, the Mind Gate Conspiracy. Though not the first game to use psychic powers in its gameplay, so many ideas from PsyOps, the Mind Gate Conspiracy have been carried forward in contemporary games. Pyrokinesis, mind control, and telekinesis are main ones, but it also has unique abilities like Mind Power, which drains psi energy from an enemy until their head explodes. Aura View allows for seeing old footprints or reading enemy intentions, while Remote View lets you leave your body and explore the environment as a projection. Dishonored 2. What's better than one protagonist using supernatural abilities to slaughter the opposition? 2. As Dishonored 2 capably showcased with Emily Caldwin being playable along with Corvo. Emily's skill set is quite unique in a number of ways. Domino allows for linking up to 4 targets together, so killing one results in the others dying as well. Meanwhile, Shadow Walk turns Emily into a shadowy creature that's less detectable, moves quicker, and capable of slaying foes. Of course, this isn't to discount Corvo's abilities to stop time or summon swarms of rats to devour foes and corpses. The Darkness. Jackie Estacado is one of the more tragic characters in gaming, and a lot of that is due to the darkness that resides in his body. Still, the range of hyper-violent powers provided can be fun, whether it's sending out darklings or massacring foes with the tentacle, and eating their hearts to upgrade abilities. You can even create a black hole to suck enemies into. Infamous 2. Control over electricity is a tough power to top, but Infamous 2 does that by adding fire and ice powers into the mix. Want to turn into a phoenix and rush at foes to explode? How about unleashing a rocket made of ice that freezes enemies? You can also create ionic vortexes and explode heads with bolts of electricity if that's your thing, and it absolutely should be. Infamous Second Son. A new protagonist means new powers, and Delsin Rowe has quite the array. Smoke is the first and allows for dashing, igniting car fumes to jump into the sky, and unleashing a blast of smoke into an enemy's face. You can even create cinder missiles and sulfur bombs. It only gets crazier from there, as Delsin gains neon, video, and concrete powers for creating bubbles that freeze enemies in time, hurling blades and slabs, and much more. The Incredible Hulk, Ultimate Destruction. It's the Hulk. Is a breakdown of his different powers aside from Smash really important? Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction believes so. Along with long jumping and throwing large objects, including tanks, Hulk can rip cars in half and use the two parts as boxing gloves along with tossing missiles right back at enemies. He even has his signature thunderclap for causing immense damage. All of this is further augmented as rage accumulates, just like in the comics. Prototype. Following the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, Radical Entertainment channeled its talents into destructibility into a new series, Prototype. As Alex Mercer, players had a wide range of abilities from super strength and speed to devouring bodies to recover health or shapeshift into different people. Certain abilities also allowed for morphing Alex in different ways, like a massive blade arm and claws, rock-like fists, and much more. Reaching critical mass resulted in huge game-changing attacks being available, like summoning giant spikes from the ground or shooting out tendrils in every direction. Super violent, for sure, but also super satisfying. Marvel's Spider-Man. For as much of a meme as Feel Like Spider-Man would become, Insomniac's title definitely succeeds in capturing every aspect of the web-slinger's powers. Fluidly swinging throughout Manhattan, chaining together wall runs and slingshots for greater distance, and beating up and tossing webbed foes into each other just felt really good. It also captured the importance of Spider-Man's mobility, as dodging and weaving through encounters was just as important as chaining combos. MEGATON RAINFALL. Among the many superhero games out there, MEGATON RAINFALL is fairly unique. Taking place from the first-person perspective, it sees you as the sole hero that must battle back against an alien invasion, fly across the world to chase down doomsday devices, use energy blasts to attack foes, and ram straight through buildings at immense speeds. Along with taking down the aliens, you also have to be mindful of civilian casualties, which brings an interesting twist to the action. Middle-earth: Shadow of War. You could argue that it's more of Celebrimbor's powers than Talion in Shadow of War, but all the same, there's some seriously crazy stuff available. Leave aside the whole building an orc army and capturing entire fortresses. With Domination, the Wraith now has way more functionality, like countering an enemy while Talion executes another or being left behind to brutalize a wayward target. You could also ignite, poison, and freeze foes with Elven Light, and dominate drakes to ride them around, even spewing fireballs at all of your foes. Crackdown 1. Many of the other titles on this list rely on supernatural powers, psychokinetic abilities, mastery over the elements, and whatnot. But Crackdown gives you a cybernetic suit with super strength and super agility, and asks you to clean up Pacific City however you please. Punch enemies to death or throw cars at them. Scale tall buildings in a single bound or run faster. And make your vehicle stronger by doing tricks or running over enemies? It doesn't all make sense, but it's still a blast. Did we miss one? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're here, leave a like and check out some of our other GamingBolt content right here on the side.